All right. Hi, everybody. So we're on today. I'm with my friend Lawann, and we actually went to high school together for a really brief amount of time, right? How long did you go to Hanover for? Like 6 months?
I don't think that much. I think like it was a half school year.
Or maybe, yeah, maybe like 3 months or something.
Yeah, it was some around there.
Yeah. Cool. So, yeah, we just recently got back in touch, and we were actually going to talk today a little bit about like the foster care system and stuff because you grew up basically in the foster care system, right?
Yes, from like the age of 12, I think.
Oh, so you were not when you were really young, but when you were 12, you got in?
Yeah, I think around like it was like 12 or 11. We actually got into the foster care, but like it was like from like 10. I think we like around 10. That's what all the stuff happened for us to go into foster care. So I be thinking it's longer, but it's really not. I think I was like 12, 13.
Oh,
We
wow.
got in there.
Well, what you want to talk a little bit about what like what happened? Like you just said something happened that brought you into like what brought you in?
Yeah, man, living in inner city, living in Gary, and having my mom has 9 kids, and she was a single mom. So like her working,
Nine
our
kids?
yeah, she was working probably like two jobs to keep stuff afloat while battling like health stuff and still trying to take care of us. And stuff went bad. Like we got homeless, and we were living in basically 9 people living in a 4-door 5-seater for about 6 months,
No way.
6, 7 months. We were legit living in the car. Like we all probably had like an Alfred or two, and we were living in a car. And we'll go sleep at a gas station or something like that in a car in the parking lot, and
Wow.
get up the next day.
Were you guys all little? Like were your siblings younger than you or older than you or
Yeah, so I have an older sister. She is, I want to say, 4 years older than me. Then I have Melvin, which is 2 years. Then I have like it's six below me. So if I'm like 10 at the time, I think the youngest one was not even a year yet, and the second youngest one's like a 1.5, 2. So it was younger kids. It was younger kids. If I
wow.
was the third, and I was like 10, 11.
Wow, man. I forgot. I didn't even know maybe I knew before, but I didn't know Melvin was actually your brother unless I just forgot. You guys are real
Yeah,
brothers.
yeah,
Um
yeah, yeah. That's my big brother.
So what are the main reasons then that people get into foster care is basically like, because I've been looking into it the last couple of days since well, pretty much just today because I was talking to you about it, and it's either because basically the parents either don't have the means to take care of them right, or they go to jail, or they're like battling with drug addiction and stuff like that.
Sure. You see it a lot in the foster system. But yeah, we saw people from different backgrounds and stuff like that, and it was all over the place. Drug addiction, homeless, not been or people being in the system their whole life. Like the
Really?
parents from birth got them taken away at the hospital.
Oh wow. Yeah, because
They
I was
just
reading and they said in like 2017 there was 600,000 kids in just in the United States in foster care.
man, it
It's
is, it
huge.
is, and I think that's kind of a subject in the place doesn't get as much touch as it should, because going through it, man, I've seen some stuff like you go on these people's house and literally all they see is you for a money sign. Like they see you for a money sign because they have you in there, they get more money.
Yeah,
And no one believes in a foster kid because in other people's eyes, they're just hurt kids that as bad as it sounds, just hurt kids that don't really have a meaning, basically. Like they don't listen to you at all. They'll they'll ask you for your opinion, but give it zero power on a certain situation. So it's
really?
basically you go in there, and you literally do what you're told, when you're told, how you're told, or whatever somebody want for you, you'll get.
Yeah, I was just listening to a documentary and this girl was saying she said almost the same thing. She was like, she's like, I felt like I had no voice no matter what I would say, it didn't matter.
Oh yeah, dude. Like no matter what you say, no matter what you do. So before I got to Hanover, I went to Maryville High School. I went there for a little bit, and it was just at home. The home life was weird and different. Like I lived with this couple, and they were a nice couple, but they just never like they were like dull. They were dull, and they were a nice family, but they just care. You just know that all you were was a paycheck to them. All you were was a paycheck, and they really didn't care about you, but they didn't like mistreat us, you know?
So it was kind of, yeah, you're saying it was kind of neutral. Like they didn't treat you bad or anything, but they just were kind of cold. Like they didn't really care.
Yeah, and when that was the first house I've been to, and me and my family, we are super super close. Like family's my everything. Melvin's my everything. Like I don't even know where I'd be without this guy, and I feel like that way about all my siblings. And when they took us away, it's like you kind of broke me. You kind of broke the only thing that kept me sane. So me mentally crying out for help is me going to schools and getting to fights, and
Yeah.
you know, at the home they don't really put too much thought in it. All they see is a trouble kid. But like everybody, you talk to people and they'll say, "Oh yeah, I understand. I understand." Like, no, you don't. If you understand me, it would be different rules and different stuff that you guys go by, but you don't understand us. And they sent me in a school called Capania, and it was a school for troubled kids. And when I got there, it was school for people that's been to jail, like facing like a lot of charges. And for me, I didn't go to jail, and I still haven't went to jail to this day. And they just stuck me in there with like the wrong crop, and really just wanted me to like go down a certain path, which they can send me off to like boarding school or something like that. That's what they wanted to do to me.
So it pretty much was, it was a sort of setup, it seemed like they were sort of setting you up for failure, like making it very
Yeah.
difficult for you to not fail.
Yes. Yes.
Were
Yeah.
you,
They'll
that's
make
what I
it.
was, oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Yeah. It's just a weird situation, and when you bounce around from home to home to home, and like as slowly your family breaks up. And me and Melvin was living apart from each other for a long time. Me and my other siblings were living apart from each other. I feel like they should be more supportive for the kids, like mental, you
Well,
know?
yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you at first. Being split up from your family was probably, at such a young age, probably was terrible, right? Like it can't be easy at all, you know?
Yeah, man. It's like somebody come and grab you from your parents and sending you 30 minutes away and said, "These are the people you're gonna live with." When you get to the house, it's the first time you meet them, and they want you to abide by these people rules and look at them like your mom and dad.
So it's kind of weird, huh?
It's weird, and it's like not okay for like a children's head. It's not okay. Like I just feel like that day, like I feel like every kid on that day when it happens, a part of them loses. Like you lose a part, like you lose a part of yourself. And the foster system, man, like a lot of those kids have a lot of people that give up on them.
Really? Yeah. That's what it was. That's what kind of, I was just like I said, I don't know much, but I was just listening to the documentaries over the last couple of days and today and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying that too, about 30 or 40% of kids, and it probably is more, but that go through the foster care system end up with bad behavioral and emotional problems and mental and physical and stuff like that. Even physical, I
Oh
guess.
yeah, man. Yeah, physical. Like I never had it happen to me, but when like I've seen it happen before to other people.
Like abuse.
You see abuse happen, and if you tell somebody, they go ask the foster parents did they do it, and if the foster parents say no, that's all the people need, and they don't really look into it. they throw a smoke screen at you, like they care, but it's a smoke screen,
Yeah.
man.
I was just reading it. They had a real bad problem in Florida, and they were saying in the documentary all they were making these people do, these parents, was sign a pledge to say they wouldn't do it anymore, which like meant nothing. You know, they'd like sign a pledge and be like, I pledge I'm gonna be better. Or this one girl was talking about she would try to tell somebody and then they would hit her for telling somebody, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a really, and I'm not saying, I mean, I'm sure, do you think that there's good people too in the foster care system too?
Absolutely. Is there's great people in there. There's people that want to, that have maybe they were in the foster system, or maybe like they can't have kids and they treat those kids like their own. Like I was at a couple houses. I forgot this couple names in Maryville. Well, the both houses I was at in Maryville, they're good people, but they took us in. They took us shopping out of their own pocket, like fed us, make sure we were okay. Just good people, and it's good families. It's good families in the foster system. It's people want to do the right thing. If people want to do the right thing.
Yeah, I thought there was some. So I was listening to some of the videos I was watching were people that, you know, people that were really advocating for it and people that really have their hearts into it. But they say too that is it true that as you get placed when you're older, it's kind of more difficult? They say people don't always want older kids as much as compared to like a little kid.
Yeah, because they think that they see a kid that's been in a foster system, because when we all came with a profile. We all came with, not the first house, but after that we came with a profile. Like I'm sure mine was, I was a hothead. I would say what I want, you know. So you see the kid's background, and the parents can go off that if they want you or not, and plus of the age. But they really don't understand how messed up the old house was. So you see a lot of if you go to a placement care, you go in there and you'll see some kids, but you mostly see 12 to 15 and 16-year-olds
At a house.
At a placement. So a placement is like this shelter home for like adolescent kids.
Yeah,
Basically.
I was just listening. The documentary I was listening to was in Florida, and they had like a placement, like a shelter home like that. And they were saying that the home would get, it was like Florida tried to privatize the foster care system or something for a little bit. And the home would get $100 a day for each kid. And the kids said they would only get like a $13 allowance every week. And most of the time they would take it away from you for like some little thing they said you were bad for, you know, so they wouldn't even get the 13. And you know, it just, and then they said the people running it had like nice cars and everything like that. So it was just like they didn't care about the kids, you know.
Dude, I've seen some like stuff like that. Stuff that really don't surprise me. I've seen some of the lowest people you can possibly come across in the foster. Oh man, we were staying with this. I am not gonna say the couple name, but we were staying with this one couple, and he was in a church. He was the pastor, and nothing that guy did or said to me made me want to be somebody. That I think he pushed me further away from like the church,
from being interested in like going to church or religion or anything like that.
The guy was like the guy's. He's something else, man. I'm not gonna trash him, man. I'm not gonna say how I really feel, but like, I mean, from being your pastor, you gotta set the standard. And this man is like sleep with people in the church and stuff like that. And it's like, and he would take the money from the church that we would get on Sundays and take us and her family out to eat with it.
Really? That's what I hear. Yeah, that makes sense. That's crazy though.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah. It's a mess, man. It's a mess, and I just think like when I would listen to your podcast. I'm a big fan of your podcast, bro. Big fan of that.
Yeah,
I love
thanks.
it. And when I was thinking about the situation, that's why I reached out. I'm like, yo, I would love to get on there and talk about this situation because I got a lot to get off my chest, and I've been through it. So it's
glad.
It's good that somebody's focusing on that. You're focusing on that too. That you actually want to know about it.
Yeah, I'm glad that you said something, dude, because I didn't know anything really about, I mean, I didn't know much at all about the system. And like I said, there's not even too much from what I was trying to look up. There's not even a ton of information out there, you know?
Yeah,
Like even those documentaries I was reading and listening to, they were good, but there wasn't many of them, you know? There was just a couple like ones that people had made. There wasn't too much information.
yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. And by the time I got to Hanover, dude, I was so I was in eight. I think I went there. I think I went there
I
eighth
think we
grade.
were in 8th grade, yeah, because we were on the
Eighth,
basketball team.
dude. That was a funny. That was a funny team, dude. Group of characters. I'm telling you. So when I got there, dude, I was so mentally like screwed from like being uplifted from my family and placed in so many homes, and you got to abide by so many rules, and you got to like, and from being in that school I was in, it was so much stuff going mentally, dude. And I never had a time to like sit down and just plant my feet and say, okay, this is where I'm gonna live. This is where I'm gonna be. So every time you get comfortable, hey, you guys gonna leave here in about a week.
Really, and how do they figure that? You don't know. They just kind of tell you where to go and stuff.
You're one of those. You're the last person to know. You're the absolute last person to know. Then they just tell you to, yeah, you're gonna get up and get out, and we're gonna ship you off somewhere else. So when I found out I was leaving Hanover, it was literally a week before we're gonna move out, and I found out through Marcus. Marcus found out, and Marcus told us when he wasn't supposed to. We were supposed to find out we found out like a couple of days later we were actually leaving.
Oh, they didn't want him to tell you. So by the time you were at Hanover, you were pretty you had already been through it a lot, huh? Like what were you going through when you were there? Were you kind of in a bad spot when you were going to Hanover?
And my mom, man, like my mom, she's our world, man, and they drug my mom through the dirt, saying she don't want us, like canceling meetings, telling her the meetings are canceled, but we show up and she's not there, and telling us our mom don't want us, and like
Oh,
bashing my mom in front of the judge, telling my mom she's like no good and stuff like that. And from a kid that's like my mom, bro, like I don't care like what happens, bro. She will always be my number one. Like she's my number one, she's my rock. And for us to our mom get bashed like that, and for kids, us kids, we think you're the enemy now. They try to turn us, my mom, they try to turn us against us. So by the time I got to Hanover, dude, like I was going through them not letting her talk to my mom no more. Melvin had left when I first got there. Then they told us Melvin, well, so the oldest 5 and the youngest 4 got split up right away. And when we got to our first house, after like 2 weeks, Melvin got sent away. And they told us Melvin didn't want to be with us then. Then when we got to Hanover, Melvin was there. But when we got there, Melvin was probably about a week or 2 from leaving. We got to Melvin's house and he left, and they were telling us like, "Yo, he don't want to be with you guys either." So, and basically telling us that, and I was so mentally fried, bro. Like that was probably like the lowest time.
yeah,
I never told nobody because I don't know how to talk to people.
yeah, because you really weren't. Yeah, and you probably weren't really socialized that well in that system too, right?
Nah, and Gary, man, I grew up in the the rough, tough. Like it was totally different from Hanover, and on
Yeah,
top of it being a culture shock, like I'm around like predominantly white people. It was the craziest time in my life, bro.
yeah, and then yeah, I bet for sure. I bet, and then that's got to be crazy too. Like like hearing, yeah. I mean, why? Who were the people that would bash your mom and tell like the people from the Child Protective Services?
So our own caseworkers, the person that's supposed to go to bat for us, the person that's her job is to find out the best situation for us, help my mom get on her feet to get us back and get us out the system. That's literally her job. She was trying to get my mom to lose her rights to all of us.